Hey everyone, this is Jam from Casuals. Today's video is going to be about KVK and war tips, as well as mistakes that are often made and how to address them. So my first tip is going to be about rallies. Rallies are one of the most important part of this game by far. It is very important that when you join another player's rally, that you follow the troop type that goes to the commander that's leading it. In this case, if I have a Minamoto leading a rally, or if you're joining a rally led by a Minamoto or another cavalry commander, pay attention that you are only sending knights and nothing else. For example, here, if I'm sending all of this infantry, this entire army will then be much slower and will lose a lot of the benefit from the talent tree and from stuff like that, where it increases the march speed and increases the attack. Now, the march speed wouldn't apply anymore because it would take this unit's march speed. For example, if you look here, now going there is 4 minutes 48. If I add these troops, boom, 6 minutes 35. Only a few troops have completely cancelled all the march speed bonuses, and the talent that are associated with cavalry-only armies, which are usually in the cavalry trees or in the infantry tree or archer tree respectively, would all be completely negated. Now there's this tool here where you have an option to select the troop type that can go in the army. So the people who are launching a rally, make sure that you select this properly, as well as the people joining the rally, make sure that you look at what's selected. And if it's not selected, make sure that you look at the commander. You should know by now which commander leads what. And if you don't, just ask before you send the wrong troops. Again, never send any catapult ever at any point, anywhere in the game, ever. There will never be a time where you should be sending catapults, almost, unless you want to zero a city and steal all the resources. That is the only time you will ever send that. Now, my second tip about this is when you are joining a rally, if the rally is about to launch, let's say there's a minute left on the launch, and you are sending an army to join it, and it's 4 minutes 48, now the rally will have to wait for your army before actually launching. Now, if it is a time important sensitive rally where you are trying to counter rally, or your things are getting attacked, or there's a lot of reinforcements coming, if you delay the entire rally for 4 minutes 48, it will really mess up a lot of stuff. Now, the rally leaders should always be careful and always kick people if they can, because it is very time sensitive, especially in KVK when there's a lot of war happening. Now, as well, when you join someone else's rally, your commanders do not matter. It doesn't matter who you're sending, because the leaders, commanders will be what matters. Their skill, their talents, the items. So when you are joining, you obviously would like to send as many units as possible. So there's an easy way to do this. Now, as you can see, I can bring 195,000 units. If I were to use, for example, Osman as a secondary here, boom, 215,000. Now I could bring this many more units. And as well, you can go even further and use a commander like mine. My Boudica has, in her talent tree, she has some troop capacity bonuses. See, boom, 220,000 units instead. So obviously, this is very good when you're trying to join rallies and have as many troops as possible. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that if the rally cancels or stops attacking midway, your army will be led by this commander. So of course you won't be able to fight open field with that army, because that would be a pretty weak mixed army that wouldn't make much sense. But in most cases, the rallies will fight until they die, and then you will just have these troops reinforcing in the flag or in the objective that you're attacking. And in that case, again, it won't matter, because the rally commander will probably be the one defending the flag that you capture by attacking, and then you can always send back your troops and send new reinforcement in. So this is a little trick that often helps. As you can see, the reason for this is Osman's troop capacity buff here, which is at 5. It's also found on other champions, such as Scipio, who has it right here. Same thing, it goes up to 10%. There's also Centurion who has it, and I think Caesar as well, which goes a bit higher, but it's obviously a much harder commander to level up. Now, my next tip is about Alliance territory. It is very important that when you fight, you try and fight in your Alliance territory. As you see, the Alliance territory is designated here by the zone in which your flags are present. You can see the shaded area here basically shows you the inside of the territory. So everything for me here, everything that's red, is my Alliance's territory. Now, the difference between fighting, let's say, here or here is really, really big. As you can see here, if you go into technology, if you go in, let's say, the territory here, we have a lot of these buffs. Like, this basically gives 8% attack to any of your troops when fighting in Alliance territory. You also have the same here for march speed, and further on you have even more attack and march speed. Here it goes up to 12%. Now that's about 20% attack, and there's quite a few other buffs like this scattered around that you get more stuff in the territory. it is very, very big, especially in this game. Something like 5% to 20% is absolutely massive in terms of stat boost. It's like insanely more than even any research that you could get in this game. You really, really don't want to neglect this. Same applies for when you're rallying things. Let's say we're rallying this fort here. Outside the territory, we don't get any buffs. If it was in here, we would get tons of buffs. So, of course, try and rally stuff that's inside your territory when it's in the case of barbarian forts, but also when you're trying to fight barbs, you will get a bonuses when fighting them inside the territory. And of course, when you're fighting open field, let's say you're defending your flag here. Now, if the enemies are all around here, don't leave the territory. Stay inside here. You'll gain 20% damage just being here, and they'll gain 0 because they're never in their territory. So you really, really don't want to fight anywhere but your territory, unless you can't help it, of course. But when you can, don't leave that line. Stay inside that line. It will give you big bonuses, and it will really make a difference. Now, my next tip is about teleporting your city or blocking other people's from teleporting. When you're playing War, and you're in KVK especially, War will be fought from a front where people will be building flags and trying to come to your flags and destroy them, or vice versa. You will be coming slowly towards their flag, and then once you reach the area close to their flag, you will be trying to teleport close and attack them. Now, there's a good trick where people use armies to block the teleport, both offensively and defensively. Like, for example, here, if I was trying to teleport here, let's say to defend this area because this is my flag, now this person's army is blocking me. I cannot teleport here because look, there's something blocking me. Now, if I had like armies here, here, now no one could ever come teleport here. So if you're trying to do this offensively, let's say this alliance is my enemy and this is my troop. Now, I could put a lot of my troops and all of my alliances could put troop around, which means that the enemy would not be able to teleport their city close to this flag to defend it. Then we would be coming from this side and slowly attacking them. Now, vice versa, if you're defending and you don't want people to come here teleporting next to your flag while they're building their flag slowly, you can put all your armies all around scattered here, and some people even go and teleport their city and they'll spawn a ton of Lohar, which basically means that they will not be able to spawn or teleport any of their armies close to your flag. Now, this is a strategy that's a bit complicated and doesn't apply all the time, but in the case of KVK, it is very important that if you see someone coming slowly to your flag, and you don't want them to come, obviously, you will try and put as many troops as possible in the open field, or as many Lohars, or as many things as you can spawn in their faces. They won't be able to come because it's very hard to teleport in this game. There's so many obstacles everywhere, there's so many resource nodes. So, of course, if the enemy is coming here to attack this place, don't mine all of this down, let it be in the way. They won't have time to mine it while there's a war going, and they will never be able to teleport close to this flag, so it'll take them a long time to reinforce when you're fighting in the open field. So this is a trick that will apply at some places in KVK, but it will make a very big difference, because the closer to the flag that the enemy's armies are, or the closer to the flag that your armies are able to get, the more advantage you have, because you can reinforce a lot easier and people can put their troops in the city of the players that are there to defend themselves. So yeah, it's very important that if you can, put a lot of armies in the open field blocking that stuff. Put a lot of Lohars. If you have the green Lohars are useless once you've expertise your Lohar anyway. So yeah, that's a pretty niche trick here, but it applies often enough. Now, another thing that's very important when you're fighting around flags, if the flag defender, which is inside of this flag, let's say you're attacking this flag right here, if the defender inside is a commander that has AoE, such as Wai Song-yi, Sun Tzu, Aethelflaed, Wai Song-yi is often the one that is used the most, especially in the early game. Now, if they do their AoE, as you can see here, this whole green area is the area of effect damage that Sun Tzu does in this case. Now, if you're inside this flag doing this AoE, everything that's around it and gets trapped inside of the AoE, and in the case of Wai Song-yi, it's an entire circle around the flag. Every troop that is there that is not an ally of this flag person will get hurt. And now, because it is a defending army inside a flag, instead of injuring the troops, it will kill them. Because that's how the game works when it's related to flag fighting. Troops that are being attacked or defending a flag usually die instead of being injured. So if this Sun Tzu army is in this flag, and then people are attacking it with a rally, and then there's just people reinforcing and they're having their troops all around, the rally will get hit by this AoE, and every troop around it will also get hit. Which means that if you're just standing there waiting to reinforce your rally, you'll basically just lose troop that will die permanently, while you're doing absolutely no damage whatsoever. So if you're attacking a flag that's defended by anything that has AoE, which is often the case, do not stand near enough for the AoE to hit you, else you will lose tons of troops for absolutely no reason whatsoever. This is very important because so many people use Yi, then they'll have an entire area of effect damage around the flag, and people are just sending troops all around because often when you're winning or you're ahead, you'll have a lot of troops in the open field because you're basically securing your terrain that you've gained, and they will be there in case to reinforce the rally that's attacking the flag, because it can take quite a while for rallies to go. They can go for over an hour. So you're going to basically just have so many troops here waiting to reinforce, and they'll all get hit every time the Yi does an AoE. And we're not talking about a few dozen troops, we're talking about thousands of dead troops per army. So this is very important. The army inside of a flag, as you can see here, goes up to 1,500,000. If 1,500,000 units do an AoE damage around to your 200,000 army, it will kill a lot of your troops and you will not even be doing any damage. So be mindful of these area of effect units. You can see the area of effects as you saw earlier. When it's green, it means it's you. When it's blue, it means it's an ally. And when it's a red area of effect, it means it's an enemy. Stay away from those. Now, in the same topic of flags, when people are attacking flag or defending flag, it's usually going to be one army inside and one person rallying it. Now, do not swarm the flag. As we saw, 1.5 million units can be inside a flag. Your army is going to be around 200,000. It can go up maybe to 300,000 if you have all the expansions and stuff. Even then, you're about 1/5 of the army size. So even if you have 5 armies swarming it, it will be like every single army individually fighting 200k versus 1.5 million. So the odds and the stats will be completely against you. You will be losing tons of troops. Do not swarm objectives, especially because they will injure your troop, but not only that, but they will be killing your troops. When you're fighting in PvP and you're fighting on structures, it is death. It is not injuries, so the troops will be gone forever, and that is not good. Rallies, of course, will also be losing troops and they will be dead, but a rally will be equal numbers. You can have a rally of 2 million fighting 1.5 million inside a flag. Now, the odds are much better because the percentage of statistics go towards the amount of troops that you have, so you're going to have a better odd. Much better to reinforce your rally instead of just swarming the stings, because swarming never is in your favor. Rallies versus objectives is the only thing that is in your favor. Now, you can swarm at very rare occasions when it makes sense, but this is something that 99% of the time you will not do, and I really advise against it. It's the same for when you attack cities. If you swarm a city that has millions of troops inside, you will just lose everything for no reason. Even T5 players swarming cities of T4 players end up losing so much more than it's worth. It's unbelievable. So really, do not swarm almost in any circumstances. Now, this next tip is absolutely crucial. It is one of the most important tips in KVK and War in general. Let's say the enemy was attacking this flag, which is ours, and they had armies all around here. There was a rally hitting it, and we want to keep reinforcing it to defend, but we don't want to fight in the open field because it's worthless or there are too many enemies. How do we get, like, from here, let's say, to here without going through all of this open field with players around, which in PvP will often happen in even bigger areas where we won't have as many cities close by? Now, my trick is called city hopping. So basically, alliance members try and put their cities close to each other, like this, so that alliance members can jump from city to city into the flag without getting hit by open field armies ever. Now, as you see here, this is the only part where I can get attacked. It lasts about, what, 2 seconds? Let's look at it just one more time. 3 seconds. That's how much time they have to hit me before I can reinforce this flag. Now, if my city is here or here or here, I can go around all and just always jump, and then gets into this flag every time without getting injured. So basically, you can indefinitely reinforce this, and then new alliance members can teleport around here and create a bigger chain. And the best thing ever is for an alliance member to teleport right here, just beside the flag, so that the chain is created indefinitely, so that anybody can come in without ever getting hit in the open field. You're maximizing your chance of surviving and reinforcing without any injuries, and basically it means you are invincible while you're reinforcing. Now, to take it even a step further, the players that are very close to the flag could even bubble because in that way they could never even get swarmed or attacked by the big T5 players. So all of these players here were bubbled. It basically creates a chain, and you can create the chain indefinitely if we had players all around here. Basically, we could have an entire chain of cities that lets us go to our flag without ever getting attacked. So as you can see, it's very important that you coordinate with your leaders and your alliance members to make sure that you create some kind of chain in order to go defend. Now this is especially important when you're defending, but can also be important when you're attacking, because let's say we want to reinforce a rally here that's attacking, and this is all enemy cities, but we're all out here. Now we can create a chain of cities in the open field where we'll jump, and then from here we go and reinforce the rally. The best thing to do in PvP is to not have armies being hit for nothing in the open field. You do not want to have armies just standing there being hit by AoE or being attacked by other players. You want to stay inside cities as much as possible, and of course you can even, if you're getting hit or you're losing, you can go into any other player's cities at any time to defend yourselves. So this is something that's very important. You should really pay attention to this. If you can, teleport nearby, and if you can't, at least go through cities to go help. Thanks for watching, guys. This is it for our PvP war video tips. If you have any question, make sure to ask us in the comments or join our Discord that will be in the description. We are always there to answer your question and help you with anything you need. As well as on this channel, we'll have a lot of guides coming out for Rise of Kingdom as well as many other games. So make sure to subscribe and leave a like if you appreciate this content, because it helps us out a lot. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.